Alright, RC Exam MMA here. Welcome back to the channel. Last night was UFC fight night, Strickland versus Imavov. And we're here to go over my predictions and break down sort of what happened and just talk about the fights in general. There was a bunch of news that came out last night. I'll probably have to do actually separate videos on, courtesy of the press conference and maybe a few accidental leaks. I'm going to be trying to talk a bit faster in my videos. It's a little tricky for me because like my voice isn't totally awake. I do these half hour after I've woken up. It's about 6 a.m. here. But with that being said, let's get started. I did pretty good on picks last night. We went 9-2 in total, which is something like 82%, like 81.8% or something like that. So we'll start with the first night of the fight. Johnson versus Flick. Yeah, I when I was giving my predictions, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on these early prelim fights here, because I am trying to make my videos a little bit faster, but I realized I just need to talk a lot faster because that video still ended up being about half an hour long. Yeah, kind of went how I figured it might, although I didn't expect. The stoppage wasn't great, but there were moments beforehand where I feel like it would have been more appropriate for the referee to stop it, and I feel like the reason that it was viewed as an early stoppage was that he let it go past that point of Jimmy Flick kind of laying on his side, just covering up, and then eventually he made it to like he became squared up again, kind of was on his back, and then was actually defending shots like when the fight did get stopped. So it was a little weird, but I don't know that fight was heading anywhere good for Jimmy Flick. So we got that one right. The next fight, sorry, I'm not using, okay, Argueta versus Aguirre or whatever the fuck. I picked Argueta, and if I'm gonna be honest, dude, when that guy walked out, I go, what fight is this? Because the UFC needs to update their pictures, man. That boy on the UFC's website had like a nice like Drew Dober hairstyle. When he walked out there, shaved head, I went, Jesus, who's this guy? And it was the guy that I had picked. You know, I thought it was funny. I was laughing about it with my wife. Yeah, dude, that fight, Argueta, he won, right? Goddamn, neither of those two can strike very well. That was not a particularly pretty fight to watch. Like, I love watching high-level strikers. Is my favorite thing to watch. That was not that. David Argueta's got a high. I know he's young, and I know the other dude's young too. So hopefully they work on that, because Jesus Christ, they both need to get it together. Yeah, but he just basically out-hustled him, out-scrambled him. Was just one step ahead of him in the grappling scenarios there. Oh, also, technically, if you count Sajara Eubanks fucking pulling out because of a weight cut miss, which kind of goes to what I said about how she's super inconsistent and not really, like, all there with it. If we go with Nate Diaz's logic, I went 10-2, which is a little bit better than 82%. Okay. Next up, Nascimento and Hernandez. Goddamn, dude, Nascimento. That was light work. I mean, he made it look easy, like legitimately. And he's the real deal, dude. I said that in my video, in the predictions video, that the hype around him was real because this dude's legit. And I thought he was going to get it done. And he did, dude. Pretty easy. He just ran through Hernandez there. Made light work of him. Okay, we'll just move on. I want to get through the prelim cards And even, yeah, I took a lot of notes while I was watching the fights, and the vast majority of the notes came from fights a little higher up the card. And because I don't want this to be a 45-minute long video, we're just going to keep going. Rebecca versus Fior. I picked Rebecca due to experience, competition level outside of the UFC, and Nick Fior not having that same sort of experience and level of competition that Rebecca has had. We didn't see none of that because Rebecca was just going fucking wild. Like a psychopath, okay? He was just swinging as hard as he goddamn could, overextending on multiple occasions. I mean, he was pretty accurate for the first round, and there were some combinations in there. But once we got in second, third round, he was pretty tired, and respect to him. And it deserves to be said because, you know, he, as gassed out as he was, he continued to throw shots as hard as he fucking could. And he got the job done. It started getting a little, you know, I almost said dicey, but I didn't want to sound like Brandon Schaub. But it was getting there because of how tired Rebecca was. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Rebecca. And the New England Cartel corner lit a fire under Nick Fior's ass in round 3. Goddamn it, dude. It was a fun fight. He was just trying to knock his head off with one punch, and he was throwing, like, jeez. I mean, the punches were pretty hilarious. I thought that he was going to be a little bit more technical with it, but all good. We still got it right. Dude, I went 7 in a row before someone fucked up my picks. But we'll get to that. Okay. Ribeiro versus Alhassan. God damn, bro. This was a good pick because there's not a lot of veterans or people that are a little longer in the tooth that I totally trust to pick over, like, new up-and-comers. Like, Arlovsky's usually a pretty good one, depending on the level of competition. Francisco Trinaldo, before he got cut from the UFC, was another good one. Where, if there was a young dude who I wasn't particularly, like, I don't know, extremely impressed with, I would pick the vet in that case, because I'm like, nah. He's going to get Cowboy versus Hernandez, you know? Dude. That was one of my favorite fights to watch, because I do not like Alexander Hernandez, but regardless. Alhassan's legs are fucking ridiculous. Like, it's almost like at the level where, you know, when a lady gets, like, a breast reduction, we might need to see something like that in the future, because it looks unhealthy. His legs are as broad as my shoulders. And there was one thing I did take in my notes about this fight, actually. Well, Mark Smith, I don't know what it was, but when Alhassan, which this was a really good game plan on Alhassan's part, because that dude Ribeiro, a great striker, he was very technical and explosive. Kind of relies on the first round kind of style, right? Like, you know, very explosive, powerful, quick, athletic, with good technique, all that shit. First round's is his round, and Alhassan's trying to push him up against the fence and force a clinch scenario where you're gonna be you know, draining out homeboy's arms a little bit, getting him a little bit tired, taking just a bit of pop off the shots, and then you can eat him, because Alhassan took one right away, and he you know, he looked scared a little bit, not like, you know what I mean. He looked concerned. And I recall when I was watching the fight, dude, they had been in the clinch for like 10 seconds, and Mark Smith had called for action, like verbally, hey, do something with it. I thought, what the fuck are you doing, dude? They just got here. And also, that guy's like a really good striker, and this dude's trying to fucking wear him out. Like, what are you doing? Seemed strange to me, and I typically like Mark Smith. There was also that lady in the corner of Ribeiro that scared the shit out of me. And I played a lot of, I play a lot of, not past tense, RPG games. Man, that lady reminded me of some like fucking scary witch person from like an RPG game. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it. She's like a compilation of all the like creepy witch ladies put together into one lady. She looks a little bit like Chris Cyborg, perhaps a bit older, and with less makeup on, because Chris Cyborg cakes her face in makeup to try and not look like Vanderlei Silva in a dress. Sorry about that. That was disgusting. All right. But I literally, in my notes, just have Witch Lady in Al Hassan's opponent's corner, because she was scaring the shit out of me. And that talk that they did before he went in the cage was extremely intense, and I could not figure out whether or not that was his wife or his mother. My wife was convinced that it was his mother, because the age difference looked too significant. So, anyways, moving on. Another one that I picked correctly, but we need to talk about this right quick. Bass Rat, the snow leopard, which is a horrible nickname, by the way. It just doesn't roll off the tongue. Versus Blue Hair. And this is what I don't know how this happened, man. Again, I do these videos first thing in the morning. So sometimes I'm not fully awake yet. In my phone, I go to the UfC's website, and I go to the same sort of window that I have up here when I do the picks, and I screenshot them, and then I'll circle like it with markup who I figure is gonna win, right? And at first I picked Blue Hair, and then I ended up picking Bass Rat. And just so everybody can see, I didn't edit this photo even a little bit. Tuesday, 9:02 p.m., right before the evening before I did my picks video, I had circled Mendoza, and then I went back on my own decision. Oh, you're not gonna be able to fucking see it, eh? And then I circled Bass Rat like 10 times, because I decided I was gonna go with Bass Rat because I rewatched his fights. And I figured that he also deserves the hype around him, and I don't think that Blue Hair was gonna get the job done. In my picks video, though, again, first thing in the morning, I fucking name swapped him. And I'm not just saying this because I'm like open on my pick. The problem is, if you go back, because I went back and read the transcript so that I could make sure that I was right, 9-2, like that I had the correct score when I was watching the fights. And I was actually, in my brain, because I do that method where I circle the one who I think is going to win, I had circled Soriano, but that's later on in the card. In the transcript, I went back, I did end up picking Kopylov. So, yeah. But if you go back and read the transcript or just watch the video, I clearly, based on description, picked Bass Rat because I said that the guy with the blue hair was going to lose. But I just accidentally called the guy with the blue hair Bass Rat. And I knew that that wasn't fucking Bass Rat. So just trust me. Okay. Moving on from that. Oh, and I saw some people saying that was a robbery, and those people are fucking handy. But anyways. Nurmagomedov versus Barcelos. I took quite a few notes on this one. Because, hold on. Bro, you'd think I was a cocaine addict or some shit. I got drips like crazy. Okay. This is where my notes really pick up, which sucks because we're already 15 minutes into the fucking video. Jesus. Okay. Stephan Bonnar tribute was fucking awesome, by the way. I love that. I love that Dana White doesn't get clouded by fucking politics. because if Disney had their way, they probably wouldn't mention Stephan Bonnar. Okay. I figured when I was watching this, why is Nurmagomedov fighting backwards? And what I mean by that is unranked opponents. But then he kind of gave some insight into that at the end of the interview, that no one wants to fight him. And watching, I figured, yeah, okay. I love the striker Dagestani guys. They are so much fun to watch. There's one thing that they do that is the exact opposite of Sean Strickland. Habib used to do it too, not even just the strikers, just all the Dagestanis. When a strike gets thrown their way, they have so much urgency to get the fuck out of dodge. Like, they don't just like back up a foot. They'll back up like 10 to the point, and even the look on their face when they're doing it is like they look scared. Like, they do this thing. They kind of do the Colby Covington where they put one hand up to their face and they lean back, but they look very scared and they take like 10 fucking steps back. And I'm not shitting on them for it, because it's effective. They don't get the dude, like, this kid didn't even really get fucking touched. I love his hopping. I don't know what to call it. Kind of looked like a cross between like a hopping side kick and a hopping front kick, the way he was throwing it. I don't know if he was switching it up or if it was just really the way that he was doing it. I think the foot was more pointed upwards. It didn't really look like a side kick, but the way he was throwing it was like a hopping side kick, and it was very effective. But yeah, man, I love watching the Dagestani strikers, dude, like Magomed Sharipov and Saeed Nurmagomedov, and then this dude. Also, fuck, whatever. You can call me a sucker or a pussy or whatever the fuck, dude. The way that he treated his opponent after that KO was awesome. Because in the moment, he threw the follow-up shot because it's his fucking job, and nobody should chin on him for it. As soon as he landed that, you could tell he genuinely, not like, some dudes will say something because, we all got the famous John Jones shit where he strangles Machida standing, lets him go without giving a second thought about what's going to happen to the limp body of Lyoto Machida, and then goes back to his corner, and his coach goes, "Hey, John, go check on Lyoto. Go gain some fans." There's a lot of shit like that. This dude put his hand on the back of Buddy's head. Like, he looked so fucking concerned, dude. And it actually made me feel like, I don't know, warm inside. I was like, oh man, I like seeing that. Because he even kind of like articulated this in the post-fight interview, but he felt bad for the follow-up shot because he didn't realize how fucking out cold he was, but because it's his job to just keep going. And he stopped as soon as he threw the first one, which I thought was great sportsmanship. He grabbed the back of his head like he looked legitimately concerned for his opponent, and then he continued to apologize and talk about how bad he felt after the fact, which I thought was fucking really cool, man. I like dudes like that. Yeah, dude, he looked great. It was a savage KO. Fucking awesome. Raquel Pennington and Ketlin Vieira. This is where my picks went. Or one of the picks I got wrong, because I picked Nurmagomedov in the last fight, by the way. Dude, sorry about that. Gross. Okay. Forgot to say this in my picks video. Fuck Raquel Pennington. And not just because she won, and I'm salty, because I picked Ketlin Vieira. But because I totally forgot about her involvement in the Depp versus Amber Heard shit. So, fuck that bitch. Also, we body shame equally here. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Okay? I'll call guys fat fucks and all that shit. You guys can make fun of me all you want. I don't give a shit. Raquel Pennington looking a little flabby, if I'm being honest, right? And they kept talking about how her and her fucking wife or whatever are having a baby, and I thought, Jesus, dude, isn't the wife pregnant, right? What it reminds me of is like when a lady gets pregnant, she gets all these weird cravings, and then she doesn't fucking eat them. And then the husband's like, well, I just fucking spent $12 on those fucking whatever they are, on that poutine over there. So I guess I gotta down it. And the guy's always gained a bit of weight during. That's kind of what it looks like going on. She's got like the pre-dad bod going on. Anyways. Ketlin Vieira pissed me off in this fight. I would, like... If I was being salty, dude, I'd be shitting on Raquel Pennington a lot more. Ketlin Vieira was fighting like a fucking mongoloid. I have no idea what she was thinking. After the first round, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? She would land a right hand, and yeah, you can fucking talk shit also, dude. No, I am not a professional fighter, and I'm pretty confident if I were to get into a cage and have a kickboxing match with Ketlin Vieira, I would knock her out, because holy fucking shit, she would land a right hand and would follow up by engaging in the clinch, which is exactly where Raquel Pennington wants to be. She was just totally fine and accepting of getting kneed in the body hard. Raquel Pennington has very effective knees, regardless of whether or not her back is against the fence. Over and over and over and over again, landing stupid little punches over the top of your own head like that, which aren't fucking damaging. Okay, this fight made me really fucking mad, and it pissed me off even worse that these two girls are in the top 5 of that division. Brutal. Okay, she would land especially in the 3rd round, when this fight's even now. Bitch, you gotta go out there and fucking do something, okay? She would land a good right hand, and she would clinch up, and she wasn't doing anything with it. Fuck, I forgot how mad this fight made me. I was literally screaming at my TV, because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I picked you. Come on, fight better. But she said no. Okay. We'll just move on. I have more notes because I was really mad last night, but I don't want to come off as sexist. So anyways. Something wrong with my nose. Sorry. Soriano and Kopylov. I picked Kopylov. He looks like Napoleon Dynamite. That's all there is to it. But drips, boy. I apologize. Soriano was reacting way too much to Kopylov's feints. Like, way too much. Like, he was not just, like, moving back. He would full on, like, I bumped my mic, would full on, like, cover up from them. And his feints, Kopylov's, that is, on the other hand, we'll look at the positive. Very good. Very subtle. Very natural looking. Some guys, you can tell when they try to do like a kick feint, like if you watch Adesanya throw a feint with the kick, he has a little flick of the hips. He does it perfectly, okay, of course, because he's an amazing striker. Dustin Poirier, who's got stiff hips, I guess, I don't know if that's a term, but I know he's had hip surgery, and they're all fucked up and mushroomed. He tried to throw one against Chandler. Oh, it looked so unnatural. Chandler didn't react to it at all. Soriano throws 0 jabs. And he doesn't pick his shots. And I don't know if it was that he was, like, on edge because of all of the feints, or what the fuck it was, but he was throwing like a wild man. And I thought he was a little more calculated than that when I was watching his fights, like, leading up to this for research on whatever. he just seemed to overextend himself at the end of every combination that he threw in an attempt to get to Kopylov. Kopylov is fucking good, man. Jesus Christ. I knew there was... When I was watching the fights live, and I had, in my mind, had thought for some reason that I picked Soriano because of my screenshots, I was, like, mad at myself. I was like, why the fuck did I pick this guy? What am I doing? And then I went back and read the transcript, and I went, of course, I wouldn't have picked him. Like, you know, it was awesome. Kopylov's jab is perfect, dude. It comes from low, hard to see, quick, fucking accurate, busting up the nose and face of Soriano. If Soriano did not have that kind of power, dude, he would probably be like the lowest level of that middleweight division, and I am not trying to shit on the guy, you know, but his technique is not great. He's tough as fuck. I've never seen a guy eat so many liver kicks. That guy is tough as nails, okay? And he hits hard. But if he didn't have those two attributes, he probably wouldn't even be in the UFC. Kopylov. Yeah, the jab, which is a super underutilized attack in MMA. Kopylov spinning back kick. Whoa. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, it just seemed like Soriano didn't have very much fight IQ. Okay. This one I got wrong. This next one. Damon Jackson versus Dan Ige. I don't know what it is about. I think this may have clouded my pick slightly, but also there's no excuses. I don't like Dan Ige very much. I don't know why. I just don't like him. I usually really like the Hawaiian dudes, you know. Max Holloway's awesome. Guys, I'm only 28, guys. Guys, I'm only 28. Don't worry about it. I like Max and BJ Penn, obviously. I don't like Dan Ige. I don't know why. But anyways, to the fight. I picked Damon Jackson because I thought he would attempt more than one takedown attempt. I didn't think he would try to strike with Dan Ige for 3 rounds. I don't know why I would think that. Perhaps because Damon Jackson is a grappler and not a striker. And his coach was telling him the same thing. He goes, we need this fight on the ground. You're not going to win it on the feet. He's going to knock you the fuck out if you keep doing what you're doing. What? Damon Jackson? The guy's deaf. I guess he needs hearing aids. I don't know. We got another Josh Hamill or Matt Hamill. Can't remember. In the UFC or what the fuck. But with that being said, he was actually having some success on the feet, especially in the later, the longer that fight went. He started kind of getting Dan Ige's number there, but Dan Ige looked a little frustrated. His face was getting swollen, and, you know, he thought that he was just going to fucking wipe the floor with this dude on the feet. If Damon Jackson would have thrown maybe some more calf kicks, I think that he might have actually been able to eventually get the takedown, because the first, he only threw a couple, but they had a serious impact. You could see right away. One of them, after I was noticing Dan Ige, looked like it actually did like bug him quite a bit. I can't believe he only attempted one takedown. And not just because I'm salty, bro, but like, what the fuck are you doing? Your corner told you to fucking do it, and you didn't listen. But yeah, dude. Damon Jackson got knocked out, and I got that one wrong, and good on Dan Ige. You know. Good on him. Fine. Okay. Moving on to my genius pick. Kopylov was a good pick. He was an underdog, but this pick was even better. I picked Sean Strickland to win the main event. And I was right. Sean Strickland is a bad motherfucker, okay? Not a lot of people picked him. Everybody was all high on Nassourdine Imavov. And when I was watching watching back his fights, what it reminded me of, and I'm not trying to shit on him too hard, okay? But he reminded me a lot of Zabit. Zabit looked really good against lower level competition up until the third round. You know, he would tear dudes apart for the first 2 rounds. And then he would look not so great in the third round. Like, dude, even Kyle Bochniak was hitting him with some shit, okay? And that fight was fucking wild. Kyle Bochniak took a lot of damage. Zabit gets tired. Okay. And I'm sure people are going to be like, well, yeah, he's got a heart condition. Okay. I didn't say why. I'm just saying he gets tired. When I rewatched Nasruddin Imavov's fights in the UFC, I was honestly not that impressed. And I think because I was kind of looking at it through that lens, like, I watched after the fact, after I made my video, I watched a few guys' bro. Is that a real word or what? A few guys watched their videos, seeing like which way they were leaning. Because after I make mine, I like to go and see like how in line am I. There were a lot of people that were real high on Nasruddin Imavov, and I was just thinking like, bro, he looked good against Buckley. Kevin Holland fucking flatlined Buckley. This dude couldn't even finish him. And in the third round, there's an argument that Buckley got that round, and Nasruddin looked tired as fucking did not like that Joaquin Buckley was coming at him, hitting him with some shots. Okay? And, yeah, I didn't see it. I could see why people were high on him. I mean, he's got a fairly decent, like, he's got a good level of technique, and when he does do good work, it's real pretty looking because he's fighting against guys that are a lower level than him. You know, and I'm not trying to be shitty about that, but if Sean Strickland fought Joaquin Buckley, Sean Strickland would box his fucking face off, I think. A lot of people shit on Sean. Oh, let's get into it. Sean Strickland. There's one thing from last night that actually pissed me off. I took notes about it. I haven't seen anybody do a video about it or talk about it or anything. Dean Thomas. I normally like Dean Thomas. Fuck Dean Thomas. Okay. Because when they went to him in, I don't remember, 3rd round, maybe 4th round of the Sean Strickland-Imavov fight, he said something that was I found extremely insulting to Sean Strickland, and it pissed me off. He said, Sean Strickland he basically said that Sean Strickland is worse than Imavov, but for whatever reason, Sean Strickland is capable and able to make guys fight at his skill level. And if you fight him at his skill level, he beats you because he's good at fighting at that level. He said, and at first I thought maybe he just like misspoke or didn't articulate things as good as he possibly could. But he said guys that are better than him, faster than him, stronger than him, and he makes them fight at dude, fuck you, Dean Thomas. That was some bitch shit. I think he just doesn't like what Sean Strickland said about Jared Cannonier getting that nod because you can't see damage on black people's faces, which is a legit fucking concern, okay? Just because an issue has a racial component to it, or that race is involved or a part of an issue. He didn't say that was the only reason he thought he got robbed. He brought it up as a point. But just because a racial component is in an issue does not make it racist. He wasn't being racist. He was saying, look, on a dark guy, you don't see bruises. And it is scientifically proven that their skin gets harder. So cuts don't open up as easy. You don't see bruises. You can't even see swelling as good because it's like contrast, right? Typically some redness comes with some swelling. Well, are you going to see redness on dark dark skin. No. But it really pissed me off when Dean Thomas said that, dude. People do not give Sean Strickland enough credit. There's even some guys that I respect, YouTubers that I like to watch and respect, that shit on him way more so than they need to, dude. Like, I've made fun of his fighting style in the past, but I think I've figured it out. People make fun of the way he punches, and they make fun of what he does with his hands, because he puts his hands straight out, and I've even said he looks like a blind dude, okay? What he's doing there is so effective, and if he did it a little more, like, pretty, just because it's like a Nate Landwehr, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, dude. Israel Adesanya does the same goddamn thing with his hands. He's hand fighting. Sean Strickland does it to block punches, though, which is weird, right? And people aren't used to seeing that, but it's fucking effective, guy. It's effective as fuck. He rarely gets hit cleanly. He's always rolling with shit. Or your punches get interrupted by his fucking hands or his wrist or his forearms, because he's now stuck out like a massive blockade in the way of your punch, and he's very good at it. It's not something that you see typically. Yeah, it tends to like deflect or deroot them, like they're going one pathway and then they end up on another one, and he doesn't get hit. Fuck Dean Thomas. Sean Strickland is not worse than the fighters that he's beaten. He is more technical than people give him credit for. Unlike the Dagestani guys, he does not back out by 10 feet when homeboy throws a punch. He backs out by like 2 inches. He lets that shit fly past his face, keeps his eyes wide the fuck open, and he smacks you around for throwing some shit, K. I was taking these notes in preparation for a robbery because I disagreed with the significant strike numbers. Nassourdin's corner said after 3 that they were losing on points, and after round 4 they said you need to knock him out. So I just took those caveated just in case we had to talk about a robbery here. That did not happen, thank God. But yeah, man, Sean is so underrated defensively. And again, another point, the way that he throws his punches. This video is still going to end up being 40 minutes. Fucking awesome. Okay. The way that he throws his punches, people like to call him a brawler, say that he throws his punches at a low technique level, he's not doing it properly, all this blah 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 blah. He throws his punches the way that Nick Diaz or Nate Diaz throw their punches. He looks as though he's he looks as though he has overextended himself at the end of almost every punch. I don't think that that's the case, because he's so effective with it. I think that what he's doing is he's kind of like rolling his shoulder, which makes it appear as though he's extending, because now his shoulder that's throwing the punch is moved down, which you would typically see from an overextension. Like if his shoulder's here after he throws, I can't show you guys, but just watch what the fuck he throws, like Nate or Nick Diaz, where he gets a few extra inches of reach, pops you with it. It looks like he leans forward a bit more than he actually is, and he's doing it intentional. He's extremely effective in the way that he fights, and I don't think people should be shitting on him or his skill level. Fuck you, Dean Thomas. I fucking love Sean Strickland. What a gangster, dude. Post-fight speech, awesome. I got that one right. He made me look like a genius. Thank you, Sean Strickland. And yeah, man, gang, awesome, Sean Strickland. There was some, oh yeah, when Sean had him in those in the 5th round there, when he was and throughout the fight, but mostly in the 5th round, up against cage over under position, I really wish guys would wrench the shoulder a bit more, because I fucking love it. I forgot to ask people to subscribe. Nobody's gonna make it this far, but please subscribe. Me love you long time if you do. Anyways, I'm gonna go make a video on possibly some of the news that happened, or that broke, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. Peace out. See ya.